Alright guys, we're going to change the bar bushings, get rid of all this slop we got here. New polyurethane bushings, part number. I already went ahead and I got the front fairing off, so we'll pretty much get into there from this point on. We're replacing this too while we're at it. When we take that all apart, that's getting replaced with a color matched one. So we'll do that when we have it apart, and now we just gotta start like unplugging all of these plugs, all these plugs, because this whole fairing is gonna come off the bike. So we'll get to that. I've taken these half-inch nuts off. This bracket will come off. We'll unplug the turn signals. So both sides, these gotta come off. All right, we'll get to that now. These are all the plugs for the radio and handlebar controls. You gotta take most all of them off because they come from the frame, and the fairing comes off when we do this, so gotta have it ready to be disconnected. You gotta pull some of these. There's these clips here that go in the holes. You gotta pull those. So. Also, I recommend covering up your front fender if you don't want to hurt it. You could take it right off too if you wanted. But do that just so the wires don't hit it. You know, sometimes they just hang down, so it could potentially be a hit spot. Oh yeah. Oh, that one doesn't need to come unplugged, I guess. Oh, I gotta unplug my amplifier. Power cord. That's gotta come undone. Heated hand grip's gotta come undone. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Half-inch socket. Take these off. Loosen them up. Turn signal piece comes off. There's a little push tab right here that releases from here. Push tab goes into there. Quick connect. Turn signal bracket comes off. Then repeat on the other side. Push tab, you push it down, pull against it, pops right off. Set that aside. This bezel piece off. Got Allen head screws on both sides, so we're gonna take that off. It's a, let's see what size. 5/32. So. Take both sides off, and then we'll pull this bezel piece. All right. We really just gotta we don't have to take it all the way off. It's pretty much just gets pulled back out of the way a little bit because this fairing has, like this whole piece, it was connected to there, so that's part of the fairing. So now we gotta work on taking these off. I don't know, there's 4 of them, 2 on each side, so find the socket size and we'll get to taking those off. All right, now these ones are 9/16. These bolts here, got one there and then one up here. Gotta take those off now. So. Loosen all these. Both sides. They're double-sided, so one screws in and then the turn signal nut screwed onto the top of those, if you remember. So we take all 4 of these out. I recommend having like a bolt cup or something, you know, keep track of all your stuff and you don't get lost. All right, so now we got all 4 of those loose. We can pull this this bezel piece off. This is getting replaced. We got a color matched one, so get rid of the chrome. I think we're gonna probably change these too. I got black ones of these while we're at it. We have to take the whole fork tubes out for that, so that'll be a little more involved, but we'll add it to this this video, you know. Maybe we'll do a part 1, part 2. I'm not sure yet, but either way, now this fairing should be ready to tilt forward and pull off. We'll take the windshield off too, since we don't want to get it scratched up or nothing. Set it up here. So, all right, we'll get this now. All right, we missed a plug. That's okay. You'll probably miss 1 or 2. I think that was the only one. Let's see. What do we got? Looks like we got a antenna zip tie here or something. Just had one of these push pins again there. All right, you want to set the whole assembly. You want to set it aside, you know, somewhere safe, and lean it up against. If you're leaning up against something, not against the painted interfering, you could scratch it possibly. So now here we go. We got the wires that are all coming out of the bars here. These are the bars, custom bars that you can use for stock everything. Pretty legit. Don't let all the wires scare you. Most of them are coming out of the handlebars if you tuck them all away, you know. So then you just got the main plugs here. These are the heated hand grip ones. Go up to the bars, and then radio plugs and stuff. So you can unplug this ground wire here, because we're going to be taking these. We got to take these bolts out next. These bottom bolts here. Just have to turn the wheel side to side, because if you look in there, there's like a stopper. So if we go like that, it goes under the stopper, and then if we pull the bars away, now you see you can get to that bolt. So that's the next step. We'll take these out, these bolts out, and then we'll pop the bars up, lean them back onto the tank. I'm gonna lay a towel over the tank because the bars are gonna lay back. So we'll get to that now. It came with new bolts, pre-Loctite on them, and then there's the 4 bushings, top and bottom on each side. So it came with some instructions as well. So the riser bolts up in here, these are 3/4 inch. I recommend an open end wrench. You can get in from up in here. Let's see here. And then just start cranking them loose. So now we'll get each side of the riser bolts out by turning the wheel. You know, we're on this side so we can get to this bolt because of that plate that was in the way that we said. So we'll turn this way. We'll loosen this one up, get this out, and then we'll turn it the other way and get the other one out. All right, both bolts out, the risers, these caps. Got these chrome caps on top of the old bushings. Take those off. Got the bars here now. You gotta lay them back because the hoses for the brake line and the clutch line are still attached, so that's why we wanted to put the rags here. So now we can just pull these old bushings out of the triple tree. Just real soft rubber, wore out. You know, it makes the taller you go with your bars, the more that these stock ones can't really handle anymore. So you could just pry all these out now. And then there's a metal sleeve. You could tap on that. It'll help you get let's see on this side here. It'll help you get this bottom bushing piece out. They kind of get wedged in there a little bit, so we'll do that now. Get those on both sides. You got to turn the wheel as well to get the bottom halves out because the tab again gets in the way. So, all right, now we can put the new bushings in on each side. Polyurethane, they're much stronger and more of an aluminum crush. And then you got the stock, which is just very flimsy and cheap. They're not very strong. So these are gonna be better together in there. They'll go like this together in the riser. So drop those in. Helps to put a little bit of like lube around these too to slip them into the thing. It just be careful getting them in there so you don't like gnar them up. You got one side in. You could tap them in with a rubber mallet once you get the round part started, and then just tap them in. Got this one under here in. Now we'll get these ones in. Both new top and bottom bushings in. Now we're gonna rotate these bars back forward, send the bolts up through, and then tighten each side bolts. So that's what we'll do now. All right, we're gonna put these bolts into the bar risers. Get them started here. Let's see. Get it all lined up here. Alright, just snug up one side, and then just grab the wheel, just steer the wheel down here and turn it. Well, make sure you don't lock your thing. Watch all these plastic pieces that they don't bind up. Don't want to break anything, you know. This cell piece gets jammed in the way sometimes. Here, you gotta pop it back up here. Come on. All right, hold on. There we go. Make sure this plastic piece up here doesn't get jammed below the ignition switch, otherwise it's just a panel. But now you can turn the wheel to the other side. Get this bolt in there. So yeah, finesse it, get it started. All right, I think you got it now. There you go. If you're doing it like this, just be careful when you come around. You don't want to hit the wrench off of the tank there. You can either put the rag down a little lower or just be cautious. So just food for thought. All right, now you want to snug up these handlebar bolts. You want to get them pretty tight because you don't want any movement going on. So tighten this side. When you're tightening it too, it's going to be squeezing the new bushings into the triple tree. So you want to make sure you give it a good torque. And then sometimes, you shouldn't have to, but sometimes you're good to go back and check the torque, like after a couple of rides, because things might settle in a little bit. You don't have to, but if you want a little bit of peace of mind, it doesn't hurt. So we got that one tight. We're good to go there. Now we want to spin the wheel. And then tighten this one up. Same thing. You're squeezing the new bushings, setting them up into the top triple tree clamp. So when you tighten it, just make sure you get it tight. All right, now we can turn our wheel straight again, and now our next step is to get all the wires straight and out of the way, and wrap them around this nut, and then we're gonna set the interfering back on. All right, now we'll set the interfering back on there. It's got a couple brackets here. You just gotta start them at an angle, kinda. And then it slides down backwards. Tip it forward. And make sure that these their brake cables and stuff aren't in your way. Slide it down up. Something's holding me up though at the moment, so let's see what that is. Alright, kind of just sets on there like that now. There's these grooves here, and they got these tabs on the triple trees. You see the bolt holes there, they line up now. And it just, this fairing literally just sits on there. You can pull it all off, slide it back on. You saw all this stuff stays on there. you just pretty much disconnect all of the plugs from it, so it's not a big deal really. Now you just plug everything back together, and then we'll put our outer fairing back on. I might not show that in this video, but that's pretty straightforward. It's just 2 Torx bolts on each side on the inners, and then the 3 on the windshield. Then the outer fairing comes right off. So pretty much it's just plugging all these where they unplugged from now. All right, you guys saw the movement that we had before, so let's see what we got now. Way better. Now the bars, when you like rotate them, like when you pull back and flex on them, they don't move barely at all. They had at least an inch or so of back-to-back movements, so now those new bushings definitely helped. So all right guys, thanks for watching.